Let us go to the next section now. Thank you, Federico, and thank you, team, for putting this together. We have a very impressive panel, too impressive maybe, with too many very good cases and very little time, so we don't know how we're going to manage that. Let us start right away to hear about the perspectives from the local governments, those that are doing day in and day out this job. And I am very pleased to have with us from far away as well, where I am sitting from Indonesia, the mayor of Banjarmasin, Ibnu Sina. We are very grateful to have you with us and to share your perspectives and experiences there. Are you ready?
Okay. Thank you, Emilia. Thank you very much for this event. I'm Ibnu Sina Banjarmasin from Indonesia. In Banjarmasin city is a capital city of South Borneo in Borneo Island. In Banjarmasin, we have 700 population, and in Banjarmasin, how is the COVID-19 emergency affecting inclusion in Banjarmasin? You can look at the map, red zone. This is a river and local government. The city of Banjarmasin conduct large-scale social restrict or PSBB to prevent massive outbreak of COVID-19. And sorry. Bisa baca saya ini. Sorry. Oh yes. Okay. I can continue. It limits access to all public facilities, including public transportation, school and workplace. It also restricts congregation for religious purpose. A sport applying protocol for limitation of services like restaurant, mall, also activities like construction. Now the city has reduced the number of public activities significantly. The situation also poses threat to livelihood and economic condition of the most vulnerable group in the city. Daily worker, many of them are informal, have low source of income in the public health sector. Banjarmasin long-term commitment toward group like people with disabilities, elderly, have prepared the city to act on the target action. Next slide. The city government of Banjarmasin formed special task force. We have special task force of COVID-19 response that integrated multi-stakeholder, like the local agency for disaster countermeasure, the health office, and the police and municipal police and other. We are implementing the strict health protocol and make sure people are staying at home. In response to this health protocol, the city of Banjarmasin collaborate with state-owned companies, school and universities, micro, small, and medium-sized enterprise, and community-based organization to produce our own hand sanitizer and face mask, special face mask, including see-through face mask for person with hearing impairment, and distribute it to citizens of Banjarmasin. And last point, the vulnerable group, including persons with disability, elderly, and urban poor, affected by the outbreak, face financial issue. Therefore, the city of Banjarmasin, with support from multi-stakeholder, prepare a social safety net, stroke distribution of assistance, direct cash and assistance, and basic food to ensure food supply, particularly during Ramadan. The city of Banjarmasin, together with this community, provide public kitchen for residents is in need. And during the pandemic, the Banjarmasin city government guarantee basic rights such as basic necessities, the right of information, the right to health services, and the right of minority, marginal group, and vulnerable group. Media information is use science language. Social and economic impact are overcome with social safety net program to get basic access right and transparent mass distribution. I think that's Banjarmasin action for collaboration, and we hope this pandemic will drop. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. We too, we all hope that we will be able to bend the curve, that we will be able to overcome this great suffering for millions of people in the planet. But it is good to see how important things are on your agenda. And I am particularly pleased to hear about the social safety net, because in a moment where everybody is talking about social distancing, we keep saying local and regional governments want physical distancing to be safe, but social closeness and social safety net. Thank you very much, Mayor, for
thank you very much
for your inputs. Allow me now to go to the next speaker that I have in my list, Cid Torquato, Commissioner of the Mayor's Office for People with Disabilities from Sao Paulo. And I have seen you. Oh yes, I see you there, sir. The floor is yours. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I'd like to. It's a great honor for us of the city of Sao Paulo to participate in this, so important event. To begin with, I bring a warm embrace from our mayor, Bruno Covas, who's a strong supporter of all our actions in terms of our secretariat. So I would like to thank him for for letting us do everything that we've been doing. Well, I was invited to talk about what we're doing in Sao Paulo in order to mitigate the impact of the virus in our population with disabilities, in our persons with disabilities. And what I have to do is that, I mean, we're working in very many different fields in order to provide assistance to the persons with disabilities that most needed. So we are monitoring all the associations and organizations that work directly with persons with disabilities, as well as we built a center only for persons with disabilities that live in the streets, homeless persons with disabilities, where we provide, besides all the normal services that you have in such centers, we have specific services directed to our public, such as repairing of wheelchairs and you know, equipment that you know, they might use in order to you know, to move. But I would like to you know, I would like to change a little bit the subject, and not to talk about what we're doing in Sao Paulo, but to propose a new perspective on what's happening now, and especially what's happening with people with disabilities all over the world. These days, and it's, you know, it's true, you know, people with disabilities are under a lot of pressure and are under many different threats. Not only the threat of not receiving, you know, assistance, medical assistance when they need, but also we have the perspective of threats on rights conquered, you know, very, very hardly along the last decades. We know that in such crises, I mean, when you know, governments have to cut budgets, you know, the people that need the most suffer the most as well. So we are under many different threats that we have to you know, prepare ourselves to deal with them, and as well as we have to be united in order to have political power to resist and not to let you know, our rights, you know, any threats on our rights. But you know, my proposition is different, is in a different direction. In the midst of all this negativity or all these threats towards persons with disabilities, I see a great window of opportunities that the digital transformation and the fact that unfortunately, at least for, you know, for the next months and perhaps years, we will live in a sort of or isolation. I mean, we're not going to have the contacts, you know, the social contacts we had before. You know, it will be a different sort of socialization. And I see you know, a great opportunity for persons with disabilities in this scenario. Now, as you know, working at home, you know, home office, telework is a great opportunity for persons with disabilities, because you know, the fact that you know, we will have more virtual will be you know, living in a more virtual society. Uh, it, I understand that this sort of equalizes, you know, makes everybody more equal. The fact that we don't have to socialize, you know, which is a pity. But on the other hand, it offers us a chance of, you know, being in the virtual world more equal, and to suffer less with the prejudice that, you know, it's still, you know, so strong with persons with disabilities. So as I see, there's a great window of opportunity in the virtual world. I think, you know, persons with disabilities will have the chance to be protagonists more than they are today in the virtual world. And you know, and you know, this serves for persons with disabilities that now work in real in companies in the real world,
You
but
need to
also
wrap up.
for
You,
I know
Sid,
I'm concluding. I'm concluding.
good.
I'm concluding. I'm concluding. It's good for persons that are already active in society, but it's also, a great window of opportunity for persons with disabilities, talented persons with disabilities that can't live home, So that's what I want to be my contribution. Again, to conclude, in the midst of threats and then such negative things that are happening these days, I see a positive way out, a great window of opportunity for persons of disabilities in this virtual world, together with the digital transformation that we're going through.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cid. Thank you for those inspiring words. I fully share with you this vision of hope, and I always say it is not naive to think that there is a window of opportunity here. I think you're absolutely right. I also want to take this opportunity to thank all of the cities, including Sao Paulo, that are signatory of the Global Compact of Inclusive and Accessible Cities, and those very few cities that are today with us and have not signed up yet. We have high hopes that you will be signing up very, very soon. Thank you for those inputs. I guess you are calling also, Cid, to not the new normal, that we need to be aware of a very different type, transformed world where there are different opportunities for us all, and very high opportunities for a better quality of life. Let us see whether Dr. Bushra Al Mulla, the Executive Director of the Department of Community Development of Abu Dhabi, shares this hope with us. The floor is yours, and thank you again, Cid, for your inputs.
Thank you, Indi. Hello, everyone, and thanks for hosting us today, and thanks for this great webinar that talks about a vulnerable group that needs to be looked at, and we need to take actions to improve the quality of the service provision and the quality of their life. We all know that I'll be talking a bit of the global impact from the pandemic, and I'll talk about a few initiatives that the city of Abu Dhabi implemented in this pandemic in regards to people with disabilities and senior citizens, as well as on the United Arab Emirates level, what was done. So we all know, we all are aware that this pandemic have affected everyone, regardless of the vulnerability, and the vulnerability are the ones who were affected most. So no one was expecting that life will be changed, people will be working from home, there'll be online education, and there are a lot of people who cannot even access education. We are very lucky to have an access to education. In that regards, at the beginning, when the pandemic happened, at the beginning, maybe lots of education systems were not ready, especially those who are serving the PODs. So schoolings were stopped. In the UAE, the schools were ready and they had online learning platform that I was already involved in that back from 2014. We were working on the smart learning back then, but we would never expected that we would use it in this time and we would be needing it. So immediately the schooling was smooth. The challenges that we had that were for centers, for people with disabilities, that this is a new norm for them to stay at home and they're not used to online education. And the sudden cut of the therapy and the rehabilitation services has affected, and we said that people's life will be impacted. We know that certain regression will happen, but not full regression, because we had complete work from home, and schoolings were stopped, but lockdown happened later on. By the time that lockdown happened, people adapted to that very fast, and we held a couple of meetings with the entities that are providing services, knowing that Department of Community Development in Abu Dhabi is a policy maker. So we look at the social area and the social sector in regards to policy setting, laws, regulating of the social sector, but not providing the services. Services are provided through different entities. We have around 11 social entities that they provide. So we had a meeting immediately to look into the plan. I would say seniors were affected a lot, especially those who are living alone. Here in the UAE, we have a lot of people who are living in the extended families, and we don't have seniors home here. Here, people are either living in their own home alone or with their own families. So those who are alone got also affected by the pandemic. We know that the mental health issues have increased, especially for those who are vulnerable to getting mental health. So a few actions the government took in the UAE. First of all, we activated the online rehabilitation and the services for people with disabilities. Maybe I was one of the first one who has a personal story that I can share, rather other than the city level. I have a son and he has autism, and he goes to university, so the university started the teaching online, and my son has a full-time shadow. So I insisted from the shadow teachers and the therapists that they provide him online and to not come to the house, to keep the physical distancing. There was a bit reluctant. It took him only 2 weeks. I said, they have to learn. They have to go through that learning curve, and everyone went through that learning curve. And now they're all adapted to it, and they're learning online. So similar to that experience that I had, it's applicable to the centers here for PODs and schools. So it took them at the beginning. It was not easy for parents. Parents are working from home, and they are also caregivers and working now. So we had few policies. The government was the first to act and have a policy for mothers to be at home, mothers of children below age of 15. Seniors were not allowed to be at work, and those are the category, and also pregnant women. And those who have also chronic conditions, they were not allowed to work from the office, and then everyone worked. The implementation of full work from home was implemented later. So these are the few actions that took in place. People with disability had to work from home immediately. And the schooling, we started having the online services was activated. It took time for them to get used to it, but it happened. The government initiated a couple of other services for them. And I could see some of the governments have done the same. We have activated the tool-free hotline for counseling for parents of people with disabilities, and we were providing consultations as well as for senior citizens. And we activated some social sector services like providing food, healthcare.
Half a minute.
Sorry?
Half a minute. You need to start to wrap up.
Okay. So the government started providing, even the testing was for free, and they go to their housing for PODs and seniors, and the food for the seniors, they call them, they ensure that they have enough food, and they provide them with the food. There's lots of education awareness materials that are accessible have been provided. Medications are provided for free, and they deliver it to the house for people with disabilities and senior citizens. So many actions have been taken by the government to do so. That's on Abu Dhabi level. Also, the protection framework was in some way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for those very important practices. I was checking the chat while you were participating, and I think it's important to share with the group. Belén Bath is warning us that working from home cannot become the only option. I would say for anybody, but in particular for people with disabilities, it has been a group that has been invisible for a very long time, and we want that group to be visible and to be part of society. So I think we need to find that balance. But thank you very much for those important measures that I think are very helpful in the midst of the pandemic. Thank you. From Abu Dhabi. I would like to go now to a different reality, that of the vice mayor of Sousse, Imen Ordani. The floor is yours.
Merci, merci à vous tous. Vous m'entendez, n'est-ce pas? Vous m'entendez? Très bien. D'accord. Comme je ne pouvais pas envoyer ma présentation, je ne sais pas si je peux la partager avec vous.
On va essayer, mais entre-temps, est-ce que vous pouvez déjà commencer votre présentation?
Oui, bien sûr. Alors, nous à Sousse, comme vous le savez, cette période de pandémie a dévoilé beaucoup de réalités, notamment au sujet de la migration et des migrants. Maintenant, on commence à entendre les gens parler des migrants, de leurs conditions de vie, de leur situation irrégulière, des lois qui sont sévères par rapport à la résidence de ces migrants. Et donc, cette période nous a montré comment le peuple a mis le point sur les affaires migratoires. Le coronavirus a affecté également positivement. Je ne veux pas parler de l'impact négatif, mais plutôt de l'impact positif. Comme il y a maintenant, on a établi une communication entre les migrants et les autorités locales et les organisations, les représentants des organisations de la société civile. À Sousse, on a commencé depuis quelque temps une grande action qui est une première dans toute la Tunisie. C'est on s'est rendu compte qu'il y a de l'absence d'une base de données sur les migrants, que ce soit au niveau national que régional et local. Et donc, on a mené une action sous un slogan qui est « Solidarité sans frontières, Sousse solidaire ». Et donc, on a commencé tout d'abord par la constitution d'un comité de gestion des aides sociales. Ce comité, il est composé du commissariat régional des affaires sociales, de l'Union tunisienne de la solidarité sociale, des organisations de la société civile, de syndicats, etc. Et bien sûr, on a essayé aussi de renforcer la coopération et le dialogue multiniveau, que ce soit avec les autorités nationales qu'avec les services déconcentrés. Et donc, à travers ce réseau-là, à travers ce dialogue et cette coopération, on a pu avoir de données sur le grand Sousse, bien sûr, parce que là, on a travaillé sur le grand Sousse et non pas sur le périmètre communal. Et là, actuellement, on dispose d'une base de données sur les migrants résidant à Sousse. Par la suite, on a voulu unifier les efforts de ces organisations. Comme vous le savez, les associations ont vraiment fait preuve de solidarité, que ce soit envers les Tunisiens démunis que les étrangers aussi. Et donc, on a voulu unifier ces efforts et on a commencé à à lancer un appel aux dons, une action bien sûr sous l'égide de la municipalité de Sousse, et on a sensibilisé le grand public, que ce soit les autorités centrales, que ce soit les secteurs privés et les associations et même le simple citoyen. Par la suite, à travers cette action, donc, on a pu avoir de l'aide, c'est-à-dire en nature ou bien en espèces, Mais il s'ajoute un autre aspect. Donc, tout d'abord, on a fait comme toutes les villes, c'est l'aide sociale par des dons en nature ou bien de la nourriture, etc. Par la suite, on a voulu toucher plusieurs aspects qui concernent les migrants. Et donc, on s'est dit qu'il ne faut pas se limiter à la nourriture. Et donc, maintenant, on est en train d'offrir de l'assistance médicale, psychologique, de l'assistance hygiénique. Et aussi, le plus important, c'est le culturel, l'aspect culturel. Là, je vous informe que il y a 2 jours, on a pu assurer la circoncision des enfants de la communauté musulmane africaine subsaharienne avec leurs confrères tunisiens. Et donc, cette action a renforcé la relation avec et l'inclusion de ces migrants à Sousse. Une dernière, comme je n'ai pas beaucoup de temps, j'essaye d'être un peu rapide puisqu'il y a beaucoup de points. On a beaucoup travaillé sur l'aspect médical, santé, même la désinfection des locaux des foyers universitaires, que ce sont des migrants aussi. Et donc, maintenant, avec, comme je dis, tout le monde qui est concerné par l'affaire migratoire, maintenant, il est bien conscient de l'importance de ces migrants, l'importance de les réintégrer après le coronavirus. Et donc, on a commencé déjà à penser à des stratégies de réintégration économique de ces migrants, comment améliorer l'accès aux services publics, aussi accès à l'information. Et le plus important, c'est la numérisation qui va nous faciliter tout ça. Merci.
Merci, merci bien, Madame la Vice-Maire. Very important points that are being made here, and thank you for bringing the perspective of the migrants, because there are many vulnerable groups that we need to secure accessibility to local service provision. And if we take care of those groups, we will be ensuring better livelihoods for everybody else in society. So a very important approach from migrants, and we do hope that you will be signing up the Global Compact for Inclusive and Accessible Cities very soon. Certainly the work that you are doing fully deserves it. So thank you very much for this intervention, and allow me now to go to another continent, a different reality, a world city that has been very badly hit by the pandemic, as many others around the globe. I would like to invite Victor Calise, the Commissioner of the Mayor's Office of People with Disabilities of New York City. Floor is yours.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I want to recognize Amelia, Maimuna, and Maria Soledad for your comments earlier today, really talking about cities, how unprepared they are, the inequities that exist, and how we must push this forward in today's COVID pandemic and really capitalize on some opportunities here today. So thank you. And of course, thank you to the mighty Victor for continuing to get the world together on these important issues. And New York City has been one of the original signatories, as well as Sao Paulo, to the Global Compact. So we want people to continue to sign on. As you mentioned, I will try to be as brief as possible and give you things in a New York minute, because I know we're running out of time. We are the epicenter in America. We have over 15,000 deaths that are happening. We are a city of 8 million, with close to 1 million of those people with disabilities. And we are having issues. We're having issues on food supplies. We have set up 400 sites for people to pick up food, but some people with disabilities are not able to get there, or they have compromised immune systems. So we set up lots of resources to deliver food to people with disabilities throughout the city. You could find out this information by going to nyc.gov/getfood. People can call or text 311. They can check out our website. So there's lots of ways for us to be able to get food to people with disabilities that need it. We do see some problems here and there, but when we hear about them, we correct them rather quickly. Another issue that we have, healthcare workers, personal care attendants that work with people with disabilities to ensure that they have independent life. And there are city's direct workers in long-term care settings and are crucial and are essential workers who are caring for the most vulnerable. And we have to make sure that these workers have what they need, because if they don't, people with disabilities will flood the hospitals, and we don't want that. So we have worked with our service providers and independent living centers within New York City and healthcare providers to deliver protective equipment, making sure they have masks, gloves, face shields, and we continue to do that because we want to ensure that people with disabilities can live the most independent life and not get sick and flood those hospitals. We are conducting outreach because we know it's important to reach out to the disabled community. We'd like to think we know it all, but we don't. So we have a check-in with disability advocates and partners every week, and which is a 1 p.m. call on Fridays. So if you happen to be in New York, please let us know. We'd love to have you on the call. And we make sure it's accessible with captioning in American Sign Language, so we can provide the community with the latest updates on COVID-19 and what New York City is doing. And we have people from all over different city agencies to ensure that we continue to get the latest information. We have disability service facilitators in agencies across the city, which are contacts that work in each agency. And we provide them with the updates and what they're hearing in the community, so we can coordinate efforts within city government to make sure that happens. We have also, as a result of the conversations we've had, we've launched a disability-specific website for COVID-19, 4 resources available, and you could find that at nyc.gov/disability-coronavirus. And there are resources on food delivery, updates on city's resources, and multiple lines of contacts to our office for people that need assistance. And we know that people are worried about facing discrimination and harassment during this pandemic. Access to care, will care be rationed? We don't want those things to happen. We want healthcare providers to really think that they're looking at the person and not the disability. So if people do feel discriminated against, they can certainly reach out to our Commission on Human Rights. We're working across our state human rights to make sure that people with disabilities are represented in this pandemic and can get the care that they deserve. And for people that aren't able to leave their home, we certainly want them to have the support. And the last thing I'll leave is home activities. We want to make sure that people have home activities, have access to virtual events, museums, tours, workouts, performances, and podcasts. And one last thing is our Department of Education has remote learning, and we make sure that everything is accessible on accessible digital formats, but also for kids and families that don't have the resource, such as iPads and internet connection. The City of New York is providing that so they can get the proper education that they need to be able to do. And when we have an accessible virtual meetings, we make sure that they're accessible, and we put out digital guidelines for that, which I will send out in a chat right now. I want to thank everybody for your time, and I hope that was a good New York City minute.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you very much, Commissioner. I really appreciate that you have been very honest about not being able to do everything well, but at least monitoring everything that you know that needs to happen and trying to get it right. I think that's the main message. And one very important message as well is these checkpoints with those that know what they need. Checking with the communities, checking with the disabled, I think is a very critical thing. If you look at our survey earlier in the session about how many feel that they don't know enough to act, I think that's really, really critical. So thank you for these inputs, and we will certainly continue encouraging the compact together with you. Thank you. So let us now go to we are remaining in the Americas, and we are going to Montevideo. And I would like to invite Fabiana Larissa, Director of Social Development of Montevideo. Fabiana, a ti la palabra. ¿Estás lista?
Lista, muy buenos días para todas y para todos. Es un gusto y la verdad es que más que bienvenida esta oportunidad para intercambiar y estamos aprendiendo muchísimo de escuchar las experiencias de otras ciudades, de otros gobiernos y también de algunas organizaciones que tienen muchísimo para aportar. Lo primero que les quería compartir es que en Montevideo ya hace un considerable tiempo que todo lo relativo a personas en situación de discapacidad procuramos trabajarlo en el marco de la Convención Americana de los Derechos de las Personas con Discapacidad, y por lo tanto nosotros trabajamos todo lo relativo a accesibilidad con perspectiva de derechos. Eso para nosotros fue un paso muy importante, ya que pasamos de abordar la situación de discapacidad de las personas para trabajar la perspectiva de la accesibilidad, considerando que la discapacidad es ante todo una problemática que es responsabilidad de los gobiernos locales y de las ciudades, en cuanto a que nosotros tenemos que eliminar las barreras que limitan esta libertad que emergió de forma tan contundente en el día de hoy, que se ve condicionada por la situación de discapacidad. Es decir, que no es responsabilidad de la persona que está en situación de discapacidad derribar esas barreras, sino que esas barreras están en el medio y a las ciudades nos corresponde modificar ese medio, modificar esas barreras para que todas las personas tengamos el acceso a todos los derechos. De esa forma, y entrando ya en nuestra respuesta a la emergencia relativa al COVID, contarles que nosotros abordamos sobre todo 3 situaciones críticas en las que nos sumergió esta pandemia global. Primero, lo relativo al acceso a la salud, en segundo lugar, a la seguridad alimentaria, y en tercer lugar, a la vivienda o al techo. En cuanto a la salud, Montevideo tiene una red de primer nivel de atención en salud, y trabaja coordinadamente con todos los niveles de atención en salud que corresponden al gobierno nacional, es decir, al otro nivel de gobierno. Cuando se decretó la emergencia sanitaria, el primer nivel de atención en salud se vio comprometido porque las redes de salud a nivel nacional suspendieron la atención en primer nivel para depositar toda su energía en la atención sanatorial y hospitalaria, dada la posible emergencia sanitaria instalada en los hospitales. Eso, a nuestro punto de vista, estaba limitando el acceso a la salud, incluso teniendo en cuenta las consideraciones de la emergencia sanitaria, por lo que fue una decisión del gobierno local mantener abiertas y con atención al público la red de primer nivel de atención en salud en las 24 policlínicas que tenemos en el territorio, y esta fue una forma de garantizar la accesibilidad a la salud para todas las personas que habitan en Montevideo, ya que de otra manera quienes están en las partes más alejadas de la ciudad y de la localidad iban a tener mucho mayores dificultades en acceder a la atención en salud. Eso además fue refrendado luego por la ciudadanía, que terminó demandando y se terminó concretando que el primer nivel de atención en salud, que dependía del gobierno nacional, en última instancia también se terminara abriendo al público y brindando la atención. Lo cual hasta ahora, con algunas condicionantes, por supuesto, en relación a cómo debe trabajar el personal, ha sido posible sin disminuir las posibilidades de atención en los centros hospitalarios, que por supuesto es lo de mayor gravedad. En cuanto a la seguridad alimentaria, sabemos, y en Montevideo no es ajeno, que la emergencia sanitaria derivó también en una emergencia social y en una emergencia económica, que en Montevideo se ha profundizado significativamente debido a que muchas personas quedaron sin trabajo o están en seguro de desempleo, y por lo tanto una de las primeras respuestas sociales de esta administración fue brindar canastas de alimentos, es decir, paquetes de alimentos que tuvieran toda la gama de alimentos necesarios para tener una alimentación saludable y para tener todos los complementos nutricionales necesarios, que se brindaron a todas las personas que quedaron desprotegidas y que quedaron sin ningún tipo de ingreso. La forma de brindarlo, además, fue de manera variada. En algunos casos...
Un minuto, Fabiana.
Sí, en algunos casos se permitía el retiro de alimentos en el local, y en otros casos se brindó, se llevó hasta el lugar para evitar las barreras de locomoción que pudiese haber. Dos cosas que quería compartirles en particular en relación a las personas en situación de discapacidad fue que con nuestro centro de referencia en tecnologías para la inclusión, que pertenece a la Intendencia y que tiene especialización en utilizar tecnologías de la información para personas en situación de discapacidad, se armó todo un paquete de recursos y aplicaciones para compartir actividades recreativas, educativas y también de asesoramiento a las personas en situación de discapacidad. Y también habilitamos una línea telefónica de atención permanente para que las personas en situación de discapacidad pudiesen recibir cualquier tipo de asesoramiento que necesitaran, de manera que la administración se acercara a las personas y no esperáramos que las personas tuvieran que acercarse a la administración en estos momentos. Y sí nos pareció también una oportunidad de llevar a que esto, que nos llevó a todas las personas a estar en casa y nos mostró las limitaciones de necesitar estar en nuestra casa, a la reflexión de cómo las ciudades tenemos que seguir acercándonos a todas las personas y no esperar que las personas lleguen a nosotros, y nuevamente abordar las problemáticas de discapacidad y accesibilidad como barreras que están instaladas en las ciudades y que es nuestra responsabilidad derribar, y no volcar en las propias personas en situación de discapacidad la responsabilidad de acercarse a ellas a nosotros, porque eso sería limitar sus derechos humanos y sobre todo limitar esta libertad que tanto emergió en el día de hoy como una consecuencia de una real accesibilidad.
Muchas gracias, Fabiana. Nos quedamos con eso. Es la responsabilidad de toda la sociedad, hacer que sea una sociedad adecuada para todos. Yo diría no solo de los gobiernos, también de las comunidades. Aquí hay responsabilidades compartidas, y me encanta que hayas traído a colación la importancia de no solamente proveer comida, no solamente proveer trabajo, sino la accesibilidad es también para más cosas. Sobrevivir no es suficiente, digo yo siempre. Hay que tener también acceso a cultura, a creatividad, y entertainment for everybody is also very, very critical. I'm very happy that both you and New York City have brought that up. It's not only about the basic needs, but all the needs. Let us take this opportunity. Thank you, Fabiana, for bringing the experiences of Montevideo. The last speaker of this panel, Johanna Sepala, the head of participation and information unit in the City Executive Office of Helsinki. Welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Here is Johanna from Helsinki. I just got this invitation today, so I apologize that I don't have so much to share. But first of all, I would like to share what is the situation here in Helsinki. The mayor has his meetings about COVID situation every day with other leaders of the city. And the mayor has been underlying very strictly that we should make very good cooperation with national level, because in some cases the national level is making some rules or new laws without hearing the city levels, and it has been very crucial to us to make sure that we are following up to that regulations and the new laws, but to inform national level that what things are very critical to the cities. And the COVID situation has been hitting the Helsinki rather hardly in Finland, because most of the cases, I don't remember, was it 30 or 40% of the cases has been found here in Helsinki. So somehow we are hitting the pandemic very strongly. But some practical examples about what we have been doing here in our city, because digitalization is in rather high level in Helsinki, and it's very hard that some places like residential houses, libraries, and so on that has been closed, and people don't have smartphones or laptops at home, and they are not able, for example, apply support for financial support or apply income support. And then we had to open a new place where, sorry, did I drop out?
Yeah, Josh.
You're still here. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Everything is
Okay.
yeah.
Sorry. So we opened a temporary digital service point to serve the city's residents who don't have their own computers or smartphones, and it has been very helpful for poor and also elderly people. And in April, we also opened so-called Helsinki 8, and we opened it together with the Paris. The first steps we made was that we called everyone who is over 80 years old in Helsinki, and the second step was to call people who is over 70. And why we called them to just check how they are doing. Do they need any assistance, for example, for shopping or for pharmacy? And for that, we moved several of people who are working for the city to work for the Helsinki 8, and it has been very successful story because our employees has been very happy to do something different in this situation. They really feel that they are doing something unique to help and build that society. But that was my remarks, and please ask if you want to hear something else. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this humbled approach. While I actually think that that Helsinki is doing many things. So thank you for sharing your experiences, and we look forward to continue collaborating in the future. I'm not going to go through all the ideas that have been shared in this panel, because we will have the opportunity to do a wrap up later on, and we will try to make the connections. But I think, Victor, a lot of the things that have been covered here are very helpful for your panel now, starting now, because everybody, and this is what I love working for local and regional governments, is that they are not only thinking about the crisis they are facing, we are facing, but they are already thinking about the next steps, the aftermath. And I think that is extremely relevant.